Excited. All right. So I first want to thank everyone for being here. You guys are rock stars to use your Saturday evening to spend it with me and get these move abroad tips. I have so much information to share with you all. I also have an opportunity to share with you all and a really, really dope bonus to share with you all. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump right in. It should be about 35 to 45 minutes. And then at the end, we're going to do Q&A and you guys can ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that's how we're gonna flow. So I'm gonna start off, jump in with what you came here for, these tips, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity, bonus, and then we're gonna do the Q&A. The Q&A, you can just drop your questions into the chat and I will do my best to keep up. Okay. With that, I'm going to, okay, so just really quickly, Kimberly's asking whether you guys should record this or not. I actually am going to send out the replay tomorrow. So by the time you guys wake up in the morning, you should have a replay in your inbox. So no need to record. All right, so with that, I'm going to pop into sharing mode. And I'm disappearing because as much as it's fun to see my smiling face, it's also distracting. Let's see, how can I, there we go. All right, so today we are going to go over the top 3 ways to prepare for a successful move abroad. And the way we're going to do this is by walking through the top mistakes that people make when they move abroad. And these are the mistakes that often cause people to move back home prematurely. And I don't want that to be any of you. So make sure you listen up and take notes. And I want you guys to stay with me until the end because I have an extra special bonus for you. And let me tell you, your girl loves bonuses, so you're going to be blown away by this one. First, I want to make sure that you all are in the right place. I believe that you are based on some of the chat that we've had just before getting started, but let's go through this. So you're in the right place if you're curious about moving or spending an extended period of time abroad, but have no idea where you would even start. You're in the right place if every time you start thinking about moving abroad, you get hung up on the question, how will I make money while I'm there? You're in the right place if your job is burning you out and a change of scenery would be greatly appreciated. You're in the right place if you're ready to start living life on your own terms. So I'm going to take a moment and I'd like for you to tell me in the chat which one of those resonates with you the most. Number 1, you're curious about moving abroad but don't know where to start. Number 2, your job is burning you out and you need a change of scenery. Number 3, you're ready to start living life on your terms. I'm seeing a lot of 1 through 4. Seeing a lot of 3s, a lot of all of that, all of the above. 3, it looks like 3 and all of them are trending the most amongst your group. 4 is also very common or popular. A tie between 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Okay, awesome. Totally relate. Thank you guys for sharing. Daquan and Kanisha and Shauna. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so I was a combination of several of these. So trust me, your girl can relate. Like I was burned out. I didn't really know where to start. And I was ready to start living life on my terms. So I could definitely relate to quite a few of them. Now, before I jump in, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself because you may be familiar with me, but you may not know me from Instagram or you may not have as much familiarity. So I want everyone to kind of be on the same page. A lot of people don't know this, but I am from South Carolina, or South Kakalaki, as it's affectionately called by people who are from there. It's a super southern place, great place to grow up. I did not get the sense that it would be a great place to kind of flourish and mature as the adult that I wanted to become. And so I knew that after I left high school, I was probably not going to move back. And so a lot of what I've done over the past, I would say 10 years have been around hopefully not returning back to South Carolina. So after I graduated from high school, I went to Florida A&M University, which is an HBCU, go Rattlers, very proud alum of that university. I also got my MBA at Chicago Booth, and my path in life was very traditional, even though I knew what I wanted for myself was something different than what I saw most people doing. But I was just too afraid to jump off of, the clear path. Like, okay, there's a blueprint. You graduate from high school, you go to college, you get a corporate job, and then you go to college again, then you get another corporate job. And that is the path I was on, just climbing the ladder, right? So after I finished my MBA, I went to become a corporate strategist, and I was working oftentimes more than 100 hours in a week. It was insane. And I can say that although I learned a ton in that job, I was on the brink of just being completely depleted from an emotional, physical, and mental standpoint. And I knew that something had to give. And so in 2017, I quit my job and I moved to Bali, and I literally changed my life forever. Now, this may seem like a drastic jump. Of course, there are many things that happened in between, but 2017 is the year when I changed my life forever. And today I can truly say that I'm living the life of my dreams on my terms. And every day I have the great privilege to create a life that I'm proud of and that I'm happy about. So I want to say that moving abroad has a powerful ability to positively change your life and shift your outlook in ways that you could not even possibly imagine. And I want to share a few of the amazing things that have happened to me since I've moved abroad. And I share these because I've seen many amazing things happen to different people, but I want to share my experiences just to give you an idea. So first, I have developed a limitless mindset, something about changing your environment, dropping into a completely new culture, opens your mind up to new ways of doing things. You're meeting new people who are coming from all walks of life, have different experiences. It influences how you think. And ultimately, moving abroad has made me believe, or at least recognize, that I have the ability to do anything that I set my mind to. And so I generally don't hold myself back anymore. If I can fathom it or if I can imagine it and I'm passionate about it, I will pursue it. Next, it's given me the freedom to build a business I love on my own terms. Now, I founded Black Travel Fest while I was in Bali. And this business has given me so much. And every day I get the opportunity to make decisions that are right for the business and not necessarily decisions that are solely driven by a financial outcome. And that's really important to me. So living abroad, like, and not having financial pressures because the cost of living is so low, has allowed me to really just make the decisions for Black Travel Fest, for my business, that are right for my customers and right for the mission of the business, and not just focused on, you know, how much money will I take home. Excuse me. So with that being said, it has also allowed me to exponentially increase my take home. So when I was corporate, yes, I was making a good salary, really good salary, in fact, but my expenses were high. Now I have my own business and I'm still making really good money, but the trick is, because I'm living abroad, I get to keep way, way more of that money. My expenses have gone down by about 65%. So imagine if you took you're making roughly the same or a little bit more than you were making in corporate, and then you decrease your expenses by 65 to 70%. So I get to save and keep way more of my money, and that has been an amazing feeling and an amazing outcome. And then finally, I've developed this new network of awesome and interesting people. When you move abroad, you're going to meet healers, you meet light workers, you meet, you know, people who are in all different industries, have accomplished so many different things in their lifetime. And somehow we end up in the same place on the same path. It's the most interesting mix of people, and that has been for sure one of the major benefits of me moving abroad. Now, I tell you all of this because I know that you can have a similar experience and you can have similar benefits of moving abroad if you prepare properly. But if you're not properly prepared, then your move abroad may not be as successful, and you may not actually get to reap those benefits. Okay, so I want to do a quick exercise with you all, and this may seem a little woo-woo, but just stick with me here. So I want you to close your eyes. Try to imagine your ideal, or what you think is your dream location. Imagine yourself waking up in that place. Think about the smells you would smell, the wonderful food. Think about the sounds you may hear. Maybe it's birds chirping or the humming of something. Think about the feelings that you will feel being in that place of freedom and just fully having control of your life. Okay, feeling good? All right, with that, I want to move right into what you came here for. So I want to make sure that you avoid the top mistakes that cause people to move back before they experience the benefits of living abroad. And before we do that, I want to orient you on what a smooth move abroad even looks like. So a smooth move abroad, or a smooth transition abroad, is one in which you have enough money to sustain yourself, so you're not going to be financially stressed. You are satisfied with your new destination, so you're not double guessing of did you move to the right place, and you are mentally prepared to adjust to your new surroundings. Okay, so with that, mistake number one is moving abroad with the wrong mindset. And if you've been engaging or following with me for any period of time, you know that I'm huge on mindset. And the reason for that is that mindset, your mind controls your reality, and your mindset controls everything, whether we want to realize or admit that or not. So you need to cultivate a positive and flexible mindset. Why? Because your mindset has a massive impact on how you will ultimately perceive your new surroundings and your lifestyle. I want to give you guys a golden rule for your move abroad mindset. Do not expect things to be the same as back home. And just imagine me using my air quotes with my fingers, back home. And you want to have the mental flexibility to adopt and appreciate new ways of doing things. Remember that at the end of the day, you move to a new place because you wanted to experience a new way of life. You want to live life differently. So make sure that you bring that same desire of moving abroad and changing your location, of changing the ways of doing things. That's going to really help you have a smooth transition. Now, I like to say that it's best to start cultivating a new mindset before you move abroad in order to help with your smooth transition. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips of things that you could start doing today. So the first tip is develop a gratitude practice by regularly appreciating the things you already have. And what might this look like? This could be before you get out of bed every morning, you take a moment to just give thanks. You count off the things that you're appreciative of or that you're grateful for. And once your feet touch the ground, you move on with your day. It could also look like, just journaling what you're grateful for each morning or doing it before you go to bed in the evening. I'm personally a gratitude nut, a gratitude fanatic. And so I do all of those things. The one in the morning is very simple. I also take a moment to jot down 3 things I'm grateful for in the morning. And then before I go to sleep, I do the same thing. The next tip is you want to be mindful of your self-talk by paying attention to whether you are encouraging or discouraging yourself. And the best way to think about this is make an assessment of how you talk to your friends and family, and then compare that with how you are talking to yourself. And if you are not talking to yourself in a way that you would talk to your friends and family, then you're probably not encouraging yourself, and you're probably not giving yourself life by feeding your mind and feeding your energy with positive words. So I want to give you a quick story because having lived abroad for more than 3 years, I have encountered so many different people, and I've seen things go well. I've seen things not so well. And I want to give you a quick story about a friend, an associate of mine, who I met when I first moved to Bali. She was from Florida, really lovely young lady, so sweet, super talented. She was into graphic design. And I really feel like she could have thrived in her move abroad, except for one thing. Her mindset would not allow her to adjust. She was not mentally flexible. And so everything with her was, oh, well, back home we do it like this. Well, back home we do it like this. And she never was able to adjust to, topping up her electricity, to needing to buy a water jug as opposed to maybe just going directly through the faucet and drinking from there. I don't know if anyone does that anymore anyway, but just the little things that were just small adjustments held her back from being able to stick it out, build her business. There were so many opportunities for her. And she ultimately ended up going back to Florida within 4 months of moving. So I will never leave you guys with just only a negative story. So I want to give you the flip side. When I moved to Bali, I was fully open to whatever may come. Whatever the new circumstance was, I looked at it as an adventure and as an opportunity to experience something new. After all, that is the reason why we move abroad, right? We want to change our circumstances, grow as people, and experience new things. So, no matter what would happen, as opposed to me looking at it as something that was happening to me, I was like, oh, this is happening so that I can have the opportunity to learn something new. So I can have the opportunity to grow my mind and to see things in a different way. And so having that mindset allowed me to really flourish and to continue to develop and build a life that I love. All right, so jumping into mistake number 2. This one is about people not budgeting and saving properly before going into your move abroad. So failing to budget and save properly often causes many people to end their move abroad sooner than they'd like. But this is something that you can 100% take care of in advance. You can literally start today, and that will set you up for success. So you need a solid budget that accurately allows you to predict how much money you'll be spending on a monthly basis. And I know that for a lot of people, the idea of budgeting is kind of like, oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to have a budget, and people kind of blow it off. But in your move abroad process, you want to be able to predict how much you're spending on you will be spending on a monthly basis so that you can go ahead and save against that monthly target. So if you're able to save 2 months, 3 months, depending on what your risk tolerance is, 4 months, 6 months, 12 months, then that is going to set you up to have a cushion so that once you move abroad, you aren't stressed out about your finances. So I'm going to give you a golden rule for budgeting your move. As much as possible, you want to use real numbers when budgeting for important items like housing, transportation, food, visa expenses, your health insurance if you're going to have that. You want to be using real numbers. And there are ways to go ahead and gather those numbers, but that is the most important piece, because once you're using accurate, real data, then your budget's going to be solid, and that's something you can really build your saving plan off of. Now, in some instances, you'll have bills in your home country that don't go away simply because you move. So those need to be factored in. Those are going to be things like if you have a mortgage, maybe you're renting your house out as opposed to having sold it, or maybe you have student loans, credit card bills. Those are all things that you want to build into your monthly budget as well. And then I want to say that if you don't have a source of income when you move, that's fine, because you will have created your budget, you will have created your savings plan against that budget. And personally, like, I did not have a source of income when I moved abroad, but I did have a solid budget, and I'd saved against that budget. So I had like more than 12 months to figure something out. Not everyone needs 12 months, but it depends on your risk tolerance and, you know, what you're comfortable with. So I want to tell you a quick story. I want you to imagine that you've moved abroad maybe 3 months ago. You have your perfect home, like you have a beautiful garden, you have your pool, you have your, you know, all of your private space, beautiful kitchen. You have a great group of friends that you go out with and that you really have connected and bonded with. And you're basically building your ideal lifestyle. And then your money runs out and you have to go back. Now, this is heart-wrenching. I've seen it happen. It breaks my heart just looking from the outside in. So I can only imagine to be the person who is having this experience. And I don't want that to be any of you. So definitely make sure that you take heed about the budgeting and the saving against that budget so that you don't experience this. Now, again, I'll always give you the flip side. When I moved abroad, I didn't work for 7 months. I did not work for 7 months. And my days looked a lot like this picture. I would wake up, excuse me, I would wake up in the morning, sip some tea, and think about what I wanted to explore and what I wanted to discover, because I did not have the pressure of needing to make money right now today. So I was able to spend that time exploring my new location and just, you know, allowing the transformation to take hold and to experience new things. Okay, so mistake number 3. This is where people make the mistake of choosing a destination based on the wrong criteria. Now, most of us probably have an idea of where we think we want to move. So I'm going to take a moment before we jump into the rest of this, and I'm going to pull up the chat so I can actually see what's going on, if I can find it. And I want you all to tell me where you think you would like to move. Just drop where you think you'd like to move, and I'm just going to see okay, Bali or Thailand. I see someone said South Carolina in the house. Brazil, Portugal. Portugal is trending. Aruba, says Chani. Malaysia, Kanisha. I see Accra. Yes, that's where I'm moving next. Paris or London. Yes to that. Colombia, Sicily, London, Costa Rica, England, South Africa, Aruba. Oh my gosh, you guys are so diverse. This is so exciting. Nuevo Gorgona, Panama City, both in Panama. Okay, Trinidad, yes. South America, yes. Burkina Faso, okay, you better get it. You better get it, Rico. I see you out here. Toronto, nothing too crazy. That's good. Portugal, Morocco, Barbados. Okay, you guys are doing the things. Y'all are not playing any games. Okay, I'm gonna close this chat because it's too exciting for me. You can probably hear my voice like getting higher and higher pitch. Tahiti. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me hop out of this chat, or else let me hop out of the chat, or else we will not get through this. Okay. So the third mistake is choosing the wrong destination, or choosing your destination based on the wrong criteria. So many people choose a place only to realize that that place does not meet their needs after they've already arrived. Like, can you imagine, like, you've already said your farewell, you've told your friends, okay, I'm out, y'all can come visit me. You've told your family, your mom has already begged you not to go. You picked up, you plopped down, and then you realize, oh crap, I picked the wrong place. So there are many factors, such as gender relations and other things, that will influence whether your move is successful. And so I want to walk you through quickly what some of those factors are. And I mentioned gender relations because that's one that most people don't even think about. Safety. I think safety is at the top of everyone's list. This is one that you're probably not going to overlook, but safety is definitely something you want to be researching and looking into before you make your move. Healthcare quality, this is also a common one. You want to make sure that there are going to be either great healthcare facilities in your location, or that there are really, really good healthcare facilities within an airlift from your destination that you've chosen. So for example, Bali, there is good healthcare in Bali, but personally, if I had a traumatic event, I would want to be airlifted to Singapore. Infrastructure, you want to be thinking about the quality of the roads, how the telecommunications works, all of that, just how things function and how orderly it is in that country. That's important, especially if you're coming from the West. These are things that you subconsciously just assume will be the case, but those are things you want to be looking into. Your ability to connect with other expats, okay? Like, you probably want to be in a place where there are other people who have similar needs and tastes. Even if you're moving to, I don't know, any place in the world, it will always be nice to have someone, or at least a small community of people who are coming from either your country or from the West. It's just going to make your transition so much smoother. And then gender relations. This one is often not thought of, but it's important, and here's why. When you're coming from the West, you're likely to assume that gender equality is happening around the world, but there are countries in which the men are still dominant, and women have, even if they have the same rights on paper, they may not be treated equally in day-to-day life. And so you want to make sure that whatever country you're picking is going to have gender equality. So a golden rule for choosing a destination is do not make any assumptions. Do not make any assumptions. Do your research, because oftentimes, vacationing and living in a place can be different experiences altogether. So make sure you don't assume. Also, don't assume that because you vacation there, you're going to enjoy living there, because, when you're on vacation, you are, one, not really thinking about expenses that much. Like, there's a vacation budget, which you're just kind of balling out. You're not going to the grocery store. You're not using public transportation or driving yourself around. There are just so many things that are different about day-to-day life when you're living in a place versus vacationing in a place. And so it's important to make sure that you are kind of examining and assessing whether a place would work for you. Okay, and that's it. So quick recap, you want to make sure that you are cultivating a winning mindset. You want to make sure that you are budgeting and saving properly, and you want to make sure that you are choosing the right destination. Now, I can say from firsthand experience that packing up and moving your life to a new country is an exciting endeavor. But knowing what to do and when to do it is key. That's going to make everything so much smoother. So having a proven process saves you time and stress. It also allows you to avoid costly mistakes that can cut into your valuable savings. Mistakes like plopping down and saying, oh, I didn't actually want to be living in, I don't know, Kenya, right? So I want to ask you guys a question. Would you like for me to teach you the exact process that I use to move to Bali and that I am using to transition to Ghana? Oh, yes, that's breaking news. I will be transitioning to Ghana in the near future. I want to quickly remind you why you're here. You joined today, even though you're very busy for a specific reason, right? Maybe you feel stuck. You're tired of Googling and researching the best way to start your move abroad process, and you could use guidance to set you on the right path. Or maybe you're ready to make a major change in your life and pursue your dream life abroad. I mean, maybe you're fed up. It's possible you want to escape the political pressure and even racial tension of your home country, and you're ready to get out, like the movie. So I look at it as having basically like two options. Option one, you don't make a plan to move abroad and you're in the exact same place this time next year, maybe 2 years from now or 3 years from now, dreaming of one day moving abroad. Or option two, you 100% commit to planning your move abroad using a proven process. And this is the planning. This is not the moving right now, right? Because it is a planning process and that does take some time. So with that, I want to invite you to join my Move Abroad Master Course. The Move Abroad Master Course is the only course of its kind that will teach you how to plan and execute your move abroad with minimal stress and maximum ease. This is literally my step-by-step blueprint of how to do it. And this is the blueprint that I've used. It's the blueprint that my students have used, and they've already started moving. So by the end of my course, you will learn to cultivate the right mindset before you move abroad. You learn to choose the right country for you. You learn how to create your budget and your saving strategy, navigate tourist and long stay visas, so much inside. But what I want to do is actually take you for a quick look actually inside of the course. So I'm going to stop sharing, bring my face back for a second, and then I'm going to give you a sneak peek inside. Hello, okay. So I'm gonna take a quick look in the chat. I know there's so much going on in there. Woo, woo, it's busy. Someone said, take us along with the Ghana transition. That is a lovely idea, and I will do that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to take you guys to take a look. Okay, so this is inside of the Move Abroad Master Course. You are first going to see my smiling face welcoming you inside, back when my hair was twisted, and you're going to see your live Q&A schedule. You get into module 1, which is all about preparing for your move. So I'm going to walk you through mindset in depth and how you can start really cultivating the right mindset. There are a lot of exercises in there. You're going to get walked through my detailed funnel of how to choose the right country. There are around 6 or 7 different things that I want you to assess. I give you an overview of how to develop your visa strategy. So this is what's going to allow you to actually stay in the country and to like not be worried about your visa situation. Walk you through budgeting, how to prepare your budget, how to actually go find those real figures so that you're building your budget on actual numbers, how to develop your saving strategy based on that budget, how to choose the right date, because a lot of people like this, they don't really choose or plan their date in a strategic way. And so it causes challenges when they're actually coming closer, like, oh, I forgot about my lease. Oh, I forgot about this wedding. I forgot about all these things or bonuses from your job. So then I walk you through how to plan your exploration trip, how to prepare your family and friends. This is a huge one because family and friends can often really hold people back from moving. And then I walk you through how to prepare your money and banking so that you're all set up for when you move abroad. Next is all about transitioning and settling into your new country. So there's a Move Abroad Career Center where you're going to get an idea of the different options that are available to you. I have talks with different experts who are going to tell you about their particular area. So whether that's social media marketing, starting the business abroad, getting into international education, doing coaching, all of that. Then I'm going to tell you how to find your housing, how to make friends and build a solid network, the 2 types of people you need in your corner when you move abroad, so you can look for those people, and the technology you'll need, how to manage taxes, and then everything about hair and beauty. All right, so I'm gonna jump back in on the other side. Okay. All right, so now you've seen the side of the course. You can see there are 2 modules. There are more than 16 video lessons. You're getting more than 8 PDFs, worksheets, and guides that are going to support your learning and keep you organized in your process. You are going to get 2 budget and saving templates, and that basically allows you just to plop in your numbers, and then it spits out the answer for you. And you're getting the Career Center with expert expat interviews. You're getting tutorials, so that's me on screen, like walking you through how to look up things and how to do it. And the total value of the course is $797. But who doesn't love bonuses? I told you guys at the beginning that I'm like a bonus fiend, so let's talk bonuses. So the first bonus is a Q&A catalog of the common questions that people ask about moving abroad. So sometimes I will hold different Q&As. I've done Q&As for my previous students, and that is something that you will be getting as a bonus inside of the course. So it's going to be cataloged, like, what do I do with my pet? Can I bring my pet with me? And I'll walk you through kind of how you can think about and organize getting your pet to wherever you're going, or at least figuring out whether it's possible. Now, I want to take a moment to stop and say that I'm not extra special. My mom may think so, and maybe some people think I am, but at the end of the day, I'm not super special. I just have a proven process and a proven system for moving abroad that works. So if I can do it, so can you. If the girl from small town South Kakalaki, South Carolina can do it, I'm sure you can do it too. Okay, so when you sign up, you're going to get bonus 1, which is a Q&A catalog of commonly asked questions about moving abroad. You're also going to get a private live group Q&A. So anything that wasn't answered in the catalog, you are going to be able to ask in the live group Q&A. So once you go through your lessons, you'll be asking, whatever burning questions you've had. So the value of that is going to be $275. So I want to take a quick moment and tell you about one of my recent students who took this course. And I'm so proud and so exciting. Antonio, who's also happens to be a friend of mine, has been following my journey, and he's been watching since I moved abroad to Bali. So when I initially launched this course, he went ahead and signed up because he has a daughter and he wants her to experience living abroad and to experience, having a more worldly view of life and how things work. And so his thought was that he was going to move to either Thailand or Bali. But, as current circumstances would have it, that's not feasible. But he went through the course, he did the exercises, he made his plan, and he is making his intermediate transition to Puerto Rico in what is today, the 25th, in about 5 days. So he's moving with his daughter at the end of the month. He's a single father, and he's doing this so that she can grow up in a different way and have more opportunities and experience life in a unique way. And that's so exciting to me because, you know, he took the course pretty recently and he's already making that transition and with his child. Okay, so jumping back into the bonuses. When you sign up, you're going to get the Q&A catalog, which is worth $247. You're getting the private live group Q&A for $275. And then you're also getting a travel voucher for accommodations in Colombia or Thailand, and that is valued up to $1,100. That is insane. So the total value is $2,419 when you add in the actual value of the course itself. Now, I know at this point, a lot of you are probably saying, okay, Deirdre, like, I'm shaking in my boots, like, what does this actually cost? See, I know I could charge around $2,000 plus for this course. I mean, after all, you're getting all of these bonuses and you're literally getting a step-by-step process that's going to allow you to transform your life and build the life of your dreams. And I want that for you. In fact, I want it for you so badly that I would not charge this much for the course because I also think that accessibility is very important. And I want people to have the tools that are necessary to build the life that they want. And I don't think that's something that should only be available to people who have like stacks to drop on the drop of a hat. So I'm actually charging $347 for this course. This course that you have lifetime access to, the course that's going to be growing all the time because I'm going to be adding resources consistently, $347. Now, I want you to get started today. I do have a payment plan, so you can make one payment today of $195, and then you can make another payment 4 weeks from now of $195, or you can pay in full for $347. For my beautiful people out here that pay in full today, I'm also going to send you my tutorial on how to snag your Instagrammable photos. It's an amazing tutorial. It's about an hour long, and I walk you through step by step how I actually create my pictures on Instagram, and it is quite a process. So with that, I want to quickly just drop, I'm going to open up the chat so I can drop the link in there for you guys. Okay, so I dropped the link inside of the chat if you want to check that out. But wait, so you guys, like when I say I be dropping straight bonuses, that's me clapping because you can't see me. I'm also going to give you guys a bonus travel voucher for a 5-night stay in a luxury resort in Cancun, Mexico. And that's worth more than $1,000. So you're going to get the voucher for Colombia or Thailand, and you're also going to get one for Mexico because I know everyone is trying to go to Mexico and it's a good time. And you're here right now. You took your time out. And so I want to give you a special treat just for that. Okay. So again, please go ahead and grab your seat. Grab your seat, grab your seat, grab your seat, seat. And I want to quickly go into a few questions that are commonly asked before we jump into the live Q&A, just so that you guys can already have that out of the way. Okay, so people often ask, does your course work if you plan to move to a location other than Bali? Yes, it is designed so that you are able to assess and prepare and plan for any location. And it will help you from choosing a location that's going to not work for you. And as I mentioned before, I'm also using this exact same program, the same plan to move and transition to Ghana. So people also often ask me, like, when should you start your planning process? And you should start planning the moment that you think you want to move abroad. And the reason for that is you want as much runway, like the more time you have to prepare your family and friends, to save the money that you want to save, to like take your exploration trip, to assess different locations that you might want to move to, the better, right? Like there's no need to rush into it. You want to actually take your time with planning. And so the program does work really well if you're going to be moving. Even I have someone who knows for sure she's moving in 2023. And so that's her plan. She's going to move in 2023. And so she has a couple of years. I also have people who took it in June and they're moving at the end of this month. I have another student who took it in June and made the transition a few days ago. So it just depends on you, but like the sooner you start planning, the better. And then a completely unrelated question that people always ask is, what about dating abroad and what does that look like and how is that? And I always say, like, why is my phone? Sorry guys. So I always say that dating abroad is the same. It's the process is the same. The experience of actually being in the dating dance is the same, but I think how you get into it is a little bit different. Generally speaking, you're going to meet more people in your day-to-day life than you would in your home country, right? And also the thing is people are more forward and like more apt to approach you. And so I think getting into the dating process is easier, but then once you're in the dating, it's the same thing, y'all. It's the same thing, I promise. Like you're going to deal with the same personality types, the same challenges, but how you get there is going to look different because that part is a lot easier. Okay, so with that, I'm going to jump into the Q&A. I will come back. Stop sharing. And I'll keep dropping the link to the course in the comments for you guys, but feel free to start asking your questions. And remember that the Cancun luxury accommodation travel voucher is available until the Q&A ends. So until we hop off of this session. Okay. Does it have to be paid in full before receiving the Mexico trip? No, it does not. Do you have any modules that answer how to make money once you're in your new country? Yes. That's actually lesson 9, and all of that is inside of the Career Center. Let's see. Oh, Duania says that her little sister Esther is in my course. Yes, she is. Esther is my fave. Is the visa section universal regardless of which continent country we decide on? Yes, it is. So the visa section helps you to walk through and create a strategy. So it's kind of, I give you different things to look for. And it's like, if this, then that. If this, then that. And so I give you the approach based on whether certain things are true. I'm just scrolling up and then I'm going to scroll back down because I know I missed a lot of things. Let's see. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. For some reason it was stuck. Someone is saying, what made me decide on Bali? And then I'm going to get to your question. So Kimberly, I decided on Bali because I almost made that mistake, right? Like I came on vacation. By the second day, literally, at this point, I was not even thinking about moving abroad. I knew, like in the back of my mind, it was something I wanted to do at some point. But I went on vacation there, and I really like felt a pull, like something inside of me was like, you need to move abroad and you need to move here. And so when I went back, I started my process and I went through all of these things, like everything that is in the course. That's all of what I did. Like I went through the same process that I teach you guys to prepare my family and friends. I created my budget. I had looked at my savings and see if that aligned with my budget. I took Bali through that choose your destination funnel. I literally like did so much research to make sure that it was going to align. Of course, I did have the benefit of having like been there to see some of the things with my own eyes, but I went through like, okay, how's the infrastructure? How's the Wi-Fi really going to be when I move there? I thought about the healthcare, all of those things that I prescribed. I went through that for myself. And so, yeah, that's how I ultimately chose it, because I was like, okay, my heart is telling me to go here, but I'm the type of person that like, these two things need to align. So once my heart and my brain were on the same page, I was like, okay, this is going to make sense. Okay, so She M says, can I make a down payment today and still receive the Mexico trip? Yes, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So if you do the payment plan, you're going to need to scroll to the bottom of the page. You'll see it just underneath that section that outlines everything in the course and invites you to sign up. Yeah, so the voucher is just for accommodations. It's accommodations only. There is a page for like terms and conditions. You can read what all goes with the vouchers while we're here. I'll try to answer questions a little bit slowly so you guys have time to read the terms. But yes. How long was my initial visit to Bali? Like when I initially thought that I should move to Bali, like I only came for 5 days that first time. Just 5 days. That's crazy. But then I did all my research and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Thank you. My necklace is from Ghana. Hi, Nikita. Yes, it's recorded and you will receive the replay probably by the time you wake up in the morning. How much is your monthly budget in Bali? My monthly budget has, so here's the thing. My current monthly budget also includes like all of my business expenses and everything. So my monthly budget does not look like most people's monthly budgets. But if we were just going to take like health insurance, housing, and the things that would be relevant to you all, I think it's somewhere around like $1,000. When I first moved to Bali, it was a lot less. How do you travel around Bali? Are automobiles popular? So, wait. Are you able to work remotely or have an online business from Bali? Or do you need a kita? So, yeah, if you're working remotely, then you're not, so essentially work visas are meant to encourage or force people who would be taking jobs from local people to, actually identify themselves and like be approved if they're going to be taking a job that a local person could have had. So if you're going to be doing like a job that's maybe in hospitality or something like that, you would need a kitas or you would need a work visa. That's true for most countries. However, if you are working online or you're working, you have like online courses or maybe like Black Travel Fest, those types of things, you don't need to have a kitas because you're not taking jobs from local people. What draws me to Ghana? I felt a similar feeling of when I was actually in Bali, like it just feels right. And I stayed there I spent like 6 weeks in Ghana last year. I actually had an apartment. I went to the grocery store. I used the local transportation. Like I actually lived there for a full month. And there was another trip that I went for just 2 weeks. And guys, there's nothing like, I don't know, there's just nothing like being, excuse me, in the majority. And just like the hospitality and the kindness of the local people in Ghana is the same as Bali. And the only thing you're kind of missing is if you're in the major city, like Accra, you're not going to get like the beautiful views, but I'm going to be splitting time. So I'll do probably 4 months in Bali and then 8 months in Ghana. Do I speak the language? I do speak some Indonesian now. I'm not anywhere near fluent. I wouldn't even call myself conversational, but the challenge is everyone here speaks English. And so if you want to practice, it's kind of difficult unless you're taking classes. How do you travel around Bali? Are automobiles popular? I have a driver. Interestingly, that was one of my dreams as a young girl, to have a driver, and now I do. But most people drive motorbikes. I don't like driving, so I don't drive. But everyone else, all of my friends have motorbikes. I'm just now starting to think like maybe I'll do it, but I just like, I don't know. I like sitting in a seat with a metal box around me, listening to music and all, having AC and all of that. That's just me. Okay, yeah. So if you are doing the payment plan, there is a finance charge associated with it because it takes more administrative effort to manage the payment plan. So that is why you're seeing that. Are you allowed to travel to Bali now? Bali is not open for tourism. There are still people moving to Bali every single day, but it's not open for tourism. Does the visa section of the course take into consideration the country-specific visa situation like Canada, Australia? Okay, so the visa section gives you a framework. So very helpfully, my last job before I quit was being a strategic consultant, and we literally made frameworks and process flows all day. And so what the visa section does is it helps you assess where you are, and it gives you the framework that you can use to determine what your options are for the visas for the country that you're considering. So it's not specific to any country that you're coming from or any country specifically that you're going to, but it gives you like what you're going to want to do and what you're looking for, what type of visas you're looking for, and then it helps you build your strategy from there. Anna says that she visited Bali and she really loved it. It's a beautiful place. And said she's signing up now. You go ahead, girl. Okay, so the fast action bonus is still in effect. I am going to sip my somewhat cold coffee now. Morning here in Bali. I'm so excited, you all. I'm excited because I get to have the opportunity to like impact more people. Like, I don't know, I've actually, this course has been on my heart for a really long time, and having birthed it now and like actually seeing people from my course go and make their move abroad already, like that blows my mind. So exciting. Oh, Cindy said she was in the master course and it was great. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, so would you recommend renting or buying real estate after you move? I do have a lesson on finding housing. To answer your question very directly, I would not recommend buying initially. Okay, so there are 2 travel vouchers. So when you sign up, you're going to get, if you sign up before I hop off, which should be in the next 10 minutes, you are going to get the travel voucher for Mexico. Is luxury resort accommodations. And then you will also get, and this is like just one of the standard bonuses, is a voucher for Colombia or Thailand. Thomas says, how old are you? You're not supposed to be asking that, Thomas. How old do you think I am? Tamara says, thank you so much for this session. You are very, very, very welcome. Lindsay's laughing. I don't, so I'm really hesitant to like recommend places because what matters, this is in response to Shauna saying, do I have a top 5 places I'd recommend for people who are looking to do an initial research? Um, I don't have places I recommend because it's a very personal and specific to you, like what matters to you. And also like, what are you able to overlook? But I can tell you some of the most common places that I know that Americans move to when they move abroad. Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico. There are millions of Americans living in Mexico. If you're looking at Southeast Asia, then that's going to be Thailand and Bali. If you're looking at Africa, I believe that's going to be Ghana and South Africa. Anna says, how long is the course? So the course is 16 modules, or 16 lessons. Each lesson is anywhere between 7 minutes to an hour and is self-paced. So you get to do it at your own pace. You have lifetime access to the course. But I do recommend like actually, you can go through it and then go through it again and actually do the exercises, but it will depend on how much time it takes you to do your research and all that, of how long the course will take you to finish. But this is not something you should be rushing through. Okay, guys, I'm hanging around for another 8 minutes. 8 minutes. And then I'm going to go live my best life for the rest of the day. I have plans. I'm going to this really cool, it's like a day club called Jungle Fish. And it has like this nice jungle view and you get to like have this infinity pool. And I'm going with my girls. So there should be a link if you go down to, there's like a tan colored section and there's like a larger button. There's a link to that bonus that says terms and conditions. I can try to pull it up. I'll try to help. Yeah, so there's a section that says, let's do this. And so if you scroll down to that, there's a link that says, there's terms apply in blue. And then if you click that, it actually gives you the information for the voucher. Yay, Kanisha, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, that's my goal. I want to inspire and give you guys enough information to get on your journey. If you're in a deeper place and ready to really start planning, then also have tools for that. We are making changes out here. 2020 is the year of change. A real year of change. So while we're still on, I'll be on for another 6 minutes. I want to tell you guys about one of my students, and she actually took the course with her husband back in June, and they are based in New York. I should say they were based in New York, and they made their transition to Portugal, I think about 3 days ago. It was on Wednesday, so whenever that was, I guess maybe 4 days ago, they made their transition to Portugal. So people are really moving all over, and they're doing that during this time, which is pretty awesome. Yay, Shiem, you're in there. Woo! I'm excited for you, girl. Okay, so I'm still here. I'm hanging out. It was raining earlier today, so that was a whole thing. Do you or your students have dual citizenship? I have, so my dad is from Nigeria, so I do have a Nigerian passport. I do not have dual citizenship for Indonesia. Um, Depending on the country that you choose, there may or may not be a path to get like citizenship. But most countries have a residency option, which is in the visa section of the class. And Chani is signed up. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, the only method to pay is through PayPal, Nicole. I don't think, I mean, you can email me. I might be able to figure out something else, like maybe Zelle, I guess. Yeah. I'll drop that there. Okay, so people are able to move but maintain. Okay, Chastity, this is important. This is a really important thing. So when you move abroad, you will, unless you take specific actions to renounce your citizenship, you will keep your US citizenship. You will continue, or at least you should continue to pay your US taxes. So moving abroad does not automatically mean that like you're just not involved in your you're like you're a lawless or landless person. You still are a citizen of the US. You can live abroad for the rest of your life and still be a US citizen. Like no one can take that from you. You can give it away though. So you can like renounce your citizenship, which I think you can only do that if you're getting citizenship somewhere else. And there are strategic reasons why someone might do that, but unless you have a very good strategic reason, then I wouldn't advise doing it. An example of a strategic reason would be if you guys remember when what's her name? Meghan Markle married Prince Harry. The US is going to tax the British crown because that's how serious like the IRS is and how serious US tax law is. That like because she married into the royal family, that would have given the US, the IRS, the right to tax the royal family. And so she renounced her American citizenship for that reason and she adopted the British citizenship. And that's one of the rare circumstances where you would let go of your citizenship. Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate you. This was, I enjoyed this. I enjoy doing this. So my pleasure, 100%. And I'm staying on for all of the folks who are, maybe still trying to make your mind up and trying to give you guys just a little bit of extra time so that you can get your bonuses popping. Because I want it to be popping for everybody. Also, my coffee's still hot because this is one of those vacuum cups that keeps it hot for days and days. The voucher, I think you need to activate it within the next 7 days, and then you can travel within 30 days. And I think you have 18 months to use it. Yes, Chastity, I highly recommend you email me as opposed to driving unsafely. Definitely want you guys to be safe out there. Safety first.